Oh, really? Yeah.
Guys ready?
Yeah. This week. Pretty Munster cheese isn't really that great for the combo. The Hawaiian roast.
There you go. I do. All right, hopefully this is working right now. I'm trying something new here, everyone. Hopefully it is working well. So we're going to get started. This is going to be Cooking with the Baron, and we're going to do a tomato as our base aspect. And then we're going to show you specifically how it's going to develop and how you can refine it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the most basic one, which is going to be tomato soup. So as we talked about in the previous one about how to create essentially a lunch plan, what you want to do is you want to find out what your budget is and determine how many menu items you want to have. Okay. From there, you're going to determine the pricing. You can just do a generic, like I said. All right, we got $200. We're going to have 5 things. That means it's going to be $40 per item. If you're doing 4 things, you can do $50 per item. And we're just going to go with that as our initial start. Now, as I said before, we are doing both Facebook Live and Zoom. So whichever one you guys come in on, hey, that's great. Hopefully we're going to be able to have some interaction. If you can, great. This is the first time I'm doing this, so there's going to be a learning curve involved. And I got my friends here again, Alex and Sid over on the side, causing noise and everything. But that's okay, because they're the ones that's going to be tasting the soup afterwards. And
The technical term is guinea pig.
yes, guinea pig. So if you have any questions, please get on, ask, and say, hey, what does it really taste like? Are you being nice, and you're going to throw this up afterwards when we get done, or does it really taste as good as you're saying it is? So we're going to go from there. Let me see, make sure. Open up comment section. Like I said, it's kind of a new thing, so you can talk to us on Zoom or ask us comment or questions in the comment section on Facebook. So, like I said, we're going to do tomato soup. Now, right here is a quick calculation of the basic cost. So, for this type of can, which produces 2.5 servings, is 88 cents. You can get 4 for $3. Now, for the amount of ounces and everything, you would need about 33 ounces of what I'm going to use is coconut cream. Now, that is $3. So that makes together 10 servings. For 10 servings, that's $6. $3 for the 4 cans, $3 for the 133 ounce. Now I said we're going to make 50 servings. What we want to do is we want to take it times 5 to make 50. So 5 for the $6 is $30. All right, so we calculated on the basic one of $40. We're already coming under budget for 50 people at $30. Now, some of the things you can come up with to add to your soup, okay, just for your tomato soup, you can either add water, you can add milk, you can add half and half, you can use full cream, you can use, I'm still putting it wrong.
Cocoa.
That seemed like it was too easy. All right, you can do coconut milk, I am going to use coconut cream. Now, some other things you can add to it if you wanted a different texture. Okay, you can actually substitute, instead of just a straight condensed tomato soup, you can actually use what's the tomato soup with the chunks in it?
This,
Is it tomato bisque?
I believe so.
Okay, we'll just use this. All right. And that is not how you spell it. Now, sorry if you cannot read it real well. That's one of the bad things. What's that?
Yes. No, it's fine. No, it's gonna bother him now. I'm pretty sure it's right.
You're killing me. All right. You can use tomato bisque, or if you want to thicken it, you can use a tomato paste. Okay. All these different things start with the base. Remember what I said, we're not using a simple soup or cheap or anything like that. That's not the purpose on this. We're using a base, and the base is tomato. From there, it's whatever you add to it. All right. So, like I said, for this right now, you can feed 50 people for $30 with just coconut cream and the tomato. If you want to thicken it, you can spend a couple of dollars, add some paste, or take some of the other cans of tomato and use the chunky kind of tomato bisque, we'll call that. If you want to, you can also change some of the things later on. And what I mean by that is, since we have the tomato, we can ensure that we change the base. Say, for example, one of the nice things is tomato is usually or mostly gluten-free, but you can definitely get and make sure that you have the gluten-free ones. So you might have to spend a little extra money to ensure you get a gluten-free that's all wholesome. I'm not going to say free-range tomatoes because there's no such thing as free-range tomatoes, but later on, what's that?
There is now.
There is now. But when you do a different soup, this is comparing this right now, we're just tomato, but you can use this for any type of soup. So you can make sure you, instead of just getting chicken for if you want chicken noodle soup, you can ensure you spend a little extra money on free-range chicken, stuff like that. So this is why we have the financial aspects here and some of the details here. The next thing we're going to talk about is when we talked about in refining the process is, hey, you know what? We're going to have a theme. Okay. So the theme is going to be this. So you can start changing some of the ingredients to focus on the theme. So since I'm using coconut cream, this is kind of more like a Polynesian dish or something like that. So make sure.
Do you need help navigating Zoom?
No, not Zoom. I just got to make sure I keep looking at things to make sure people can come in. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the soup. So I'm going to use 2 cans. Slow simmer. Add the coconut cream.
You have to let people into your Zoom meeting.
Right?
You have to let people in.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm still new at this. I'm trying to figure out how to have them automatically come in. My bad. Like I said, this is new, so. Hope everyone is enjoying. Let's see. Yeah, free range tomatoes. Thank you very much. That is it.
They grow legs. They're out in the rain.
Oh, it's really hard to catch them when they start rolling.
Woo! You said free-range chicken, but I heard free-range tomatoes. So like, just on the plains with your trusty shotgun, like, bunch of tomatoes.
What is that horrible movie, The Night of the Living Tomatoes, or what is?
There is a horror movie with tomatoes in it.
Yeah, where they just roll over and kill people.
I think it's a team.
They could be. I don't know. Maybe you guys know which tomato movie we're talking about.
Or a name of famous tomato movie, I guess. If there is one, other than fried green tomatoes.
So this is working for everyone. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to tilt it right here so you can see the tomato soup is actually not as red as you would think because, of course, it's coconut cream, which is very thick and very white. This is why I said you can also add like a tomato paste to bring it back to a much darker red color. One of the other things you're going to see is that it's actually going to be a little bit thicker than some of the other ones. But if you use half and half or full cream, it's going to be very much the same consistency as that. Now from here, like I said, we have both some Hawaiian bread and some croissants. The reason for this is, like I said before, you want to go and start having you definitely want to go and cook stuff like this ahead of time and have like a taste test to see how everything goes. Let me see. Oh, there's a, you were chatting? Oh, okay. You're right here while you're there.
I'm letting everybody else know that.
Oh.
we have, like, the chat comments so that you don't have to.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean, we're sitting here, I can do something.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. I was confused. I was scared. I was scared. Please help
Don't
me.
need to be afraid.
Let's see.
We'll stop those free range tomatoes.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Oh, yeah, it was so simple. All right, yeah, that was.
You know, it's a
Killing me. All right.
You're killing me, Smalls.
So like I said, we can come up with different food options. Now, like I said, I brought just croissants and the Hawaiian bread to try different flavor combinations. So we also got some hard salami, some Gouda, some Havarti, and what was the other one? Munster. So,
The Buddha is smoked.
oh, sorry,
Yeah.
smoky.
That makes a difference.
We're
It does.
fancy here.
Well, that makes, I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
You might not like it, someone else might.
Smells it.
Well, there you go. So,
Both ends of the spectrum here.
but there's other things you can do. You can have just straight toast with it. You can have garlic toast. You can have a nice grilled cheese with different cheeses on it. You can use grilled cheese and put garlic salt on it. So you have like a garlic bread, grilled cheese bread, garlic grilled cheese bread. That probably sounds better. So
Sounds great.
as with, it does sound pretty good, actually. But that's a nice thing. You start with something like this, you try different breads. Do you want regular bread? Do you want to have Texas toast style bread? Everything like that. So, and that's when, like I said before, that's during the planning process and then the refining process. This is part of the refining process, to figure out what you want to have with it, what you can financially provide with it, the theme you want with it, and then you get together and you do a test, a taste test, a the different types of food, different types of accessories you want to have with it. And then again, when you have the different people, that explains. Why is it not getting warm? Oh, it's 'cause
I was
they
like,
turned it back
I
on.
couldn't believe you turned the flame down, but the gas was still going.
We're all loopy. No.
No, that's just you.
Down we go.
No, not yet.
So as this starts to warm up, it'll only take a couple minutes. What I'll talk about is on Friday, I'm going to do my next dance class. That one's going to be on the first set of suites, which is going to be Estampe and Saltarilla. So we'll go through that. And then next week, we're going to have another cooking, and then we'll do another dance. The cooking one for next week is going to be pasta with beet juice and port. As I said before, you can use a pasta that's a nice gluten-free. The beet juice will add color to it, or specifically red. Also will make it sweet. So be careful not to put too much in it. It actually can make it a very, very sweet pasta. So you want to dilute it almost half and half, or maybe add a little bit more port into it. The port will bind it and actually create a nice body aspect to it that a lot of people don't realize. So we'll do that. And as with everything, most of this is simple with different variants. You can use it for any type of event, change the different ingredients, change to what's available, what you can afford. And as I said before, and I'll say it over and over again, whenever you create a feast or a lunch menu, this is what it is, this is for how many people, and this is the price, and that is what you work with. You don't go and say, oh, well, can we now feed 70 people? No, we can't. Well, we really need to. No, you should have told me this earlier, and I should have budgeted for it. Well, what if we know? People will, strangely enough, respect you a lot more if you tell them this is what it is, this is the meal, this is how good it's going to be, and everyone will get fed, everyone knows the process, and there's no trying to change it, because the last thing we all need is for a really good lunch idea and menu to now become just okay or mediocre, because that is not who you are. Because the lunch is who you are. You're in charge of it. Make it happen. You got just a little bit longer. Now, do you guys want to start making some different versions of the sandwiches real quick? Am I doing too many hand gestures? Too me, too bad. This is who I am, and I'm online.
I don't know if anybody can see you.
Actually, yeah, you can see them, but it doesn't look like you're really threatening me. It just looks like you got issues. All
You
right.
can't see my face, it's all on the face. Yeah, but you're laughing. Maybe that's the worst, though.
So you can have just cheese on it to try it. If you, just straight butter. If you want to just try straight butter, without butter, butter and cheese, butter, cheese and meat, butter and meat. That just sounds weird, butter and meat.
Bologna butter sandwich.
Yeah, it's bologna. It's not a real sandwich meat. I don't care what anyone says.
I feel like
Let's
a lot
see.
of people would argue with you.
Oh, what am I cooking? I am cooking a tomato soup with a coconut cream instead of half and half or cream or water. It's going to change the texture. And it's definitely going to change the color. So like I said, if some people are like, that's not really tomato soup, it's kind of orangey, you can add tomato paste to thicken it up a little bit more and add definitely more red color. Let's see. Good to see you too, Matthew. It's been a long time.
If we're gonna do this right, we have to make versions where it's cheese and bun. And you have to divide each one of these into 3 pieces.
Somebody somebody did not provide a cutting board.
I think we will do it.
Yeah, sure, there's probably one here someplace, all this stuff. All right, so show you this right here. This will actually feed at about 5 to 6 people. We only got 3 right now. It's for room.
It's for me, don't judge.
Now you're just playing around with it.
And they're really cool flashlights.
Oh, they're great flashlights. You can also charge your phone with it.
Of course.
Yes, you can charge your phone with it.
It's nice, but
So usually one serving is going to be 1 cup. There's enough in here for another complete, almost full bowl. These bowls are bigger than a normal serving bowl. So that's why there's a little bit more in there. I'm going to go and set this over to the side.
nice.
Now, of course, afterwards, you can always add some oregano on top or cilantro. You guys want some? There's some right here. In the meantime,
I'm going to split this with food.
yes, everyone's going to have some soup. Some soup for you. Any more questions? Moving like crazy. You gotta come over here so you guys can actually tell us what you think the soup tastes like, and then
I am,
this is Sid, of course.
hello. I'm well versed in the flavor profile of regular tomato soup, having been a college student at some point, and just being an art student in general.
Come on, Alex, come on
I
over.
don't
Let's do this in stages.
Okay,
It's like you're
Two
animal,
parts.
you don't approach too fast.
Okay. Let's
Okay.
do it.
Is this a,
be
So-
honest.
It's a little bit sweeter than normal, but I do enjoy it. I know, I'm like.
And now Alex?
is this enter the game?
Yes.
Enter player 2.
Are you going to give us your tomato soup, like, references?
Oh,
The history
I've
of your
watched
tomato soup.
lots of Iron Chef.
I've watched a lot of medical shows. That does not make me a doctor.
I know, but you don't need much to be a food critic
Just have to know what you like.
and be very open to game.
But yeah, it does kind of, my first initial reaction was like, high curry. A little bit
Yes, and
very curry-esque.
you can add some curry to it to change it a bit. Now
I
try
did not think of that before we got here.
another thing to add on the.
We remembered the can opener. I forgot the curry powder.
It was real good.
Because I'm
I think with the croissant would be really good with lots of butter.
Possible. I don't personally feel like a croissant in this soup makes very well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really? Why would that be? Food Creek? Because for me, croissants are very savory. Regular tomato soup, maybe. But because this is a sweeter version of tomato soup,
It's too sweet.
I feel like it clashes. I think you're doing a balance of sweet and savory. Then again, I like that kind of thing. You also like smoked Gouda. Because it's Gouda.
Are enemies with meat?
No, they're all cheesy ones. We didn't get that far.
Start working earlier.
I put it on parking.
I think I like the croissant. I think it's adding something to it that, all it's a texture or a different version of it, but
I don't mind being outvoted, it's fine.
Try it with a Hawaiian bun then.
let's try it next with meat.
Oh.
See. Not sure. I'm not usually a big meat with a tomato soup thing, but give it a shot.
I was thinking you could maybe do tiny pieces of little cut up pepperonis.
Interesting. We both kind of look at you like,
Pepperoni?
I'm sorry. All right, hand me some of that basil. Or is that just oregano?
we got oregano and cilantro.
It's better with the Hawaiian bun.
What's that?
Better with the Hawaiian bun.
Well, that's what I was hoping. Like I said, more of like a Polynesian type.
You know, oregano is found in a lot of different cultures. Cilantro,
Yes.
then you get people who think it tastes like soap. Oh, you're gonna retreat?
Interesting. With the, I like it with the croissant, but I'm not as happy with it with the meat added to it than just straight butter or cheese.
The oregano gives it an interesting flavor. I wonder if that kind of brings out that more curry-like flavor.
Oh, that's true.
I wonder what cilantro would do.
I'm gonna try the Hawaiian bread. That's the only thing that I was worried about with the Hawaiian bread and kind of the coconut cream. It might bring it too sweet. It's very sweet.
It's very sweet.
It is, wow. I've never,
Is it very desserty or is it very like?
I wouldn't say it's desserty,
No.
but it is sweeter.
Okay.
that is interesting. It's different than I thought it
Kind
was
of like
gonna
in the territory of sweetmeats. A little bit.
be.
So if you like sweetmeats, probably like this.
Sweet. I agree on that.
Oh, yeah. I put butter on it.
To me, I always associate tomato soup with grilled cheese, which is always grilled in butter. So to me, butter is always,
It could possibly be the
aspect to
fact that it is a croissant. And a croissant is different than regular bread.
He's got a,
this is the Hawaiian bread. But yeah, definitely a. Instead of having like a tomato and a sweet, and it kind of goes like that with the Hawaiian bread, it has
Like
some tomato, but it goes up here and it kind of stays.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. But I
if you do
definitely,
the oregano with a Hawaiian roll, it tastes kind of very like, very pasta-y.
well, what do you guys just think in general about the coconut cream? Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good.
I think like the, kind of in the same vein as the ginger bowl.
Coconut milk. The culinary equivalent to duct tape?
Yeah, I'm not, well, like, I don't, like, when I have just regular, I hate water and tomato soup.
Oh, it's
I
right.
just freaking hate it. But milk is okay. I like half and half or cream. To me, it gives a nice thickness to it. I personally like this. What I would want to do is to put some more tomato flavor. So I would add in a tomato paste.
Tomato trunks.
That's right. Give it that.
Stewed tomatoes.
Stewed tomatoes, that's what I was thinking. Adding in either this or a stewed tomato can every once in a while to add chunky aspect to the
And you
tomato.
can blend it to make it a little less big chunk.
Right. Or a tomato paste to give it more of the tomato flavor to kind of cut down on the sweetness. But yeah, adding, hey, let's try a little bit of the curry powder to kind of blend it from a
See,
bigger
this-
range.
Yeah, like right now, it's like dipping a toe into somewhere Asian.
Yes, that's,
Mhm.
that's kind of the whole purpose, is to give it a different theme or
Yeah.
a style, instead of just having straight tomato. Like I said, if we're gonna have a Polynesian event, this, I think, would go along fabulously with some other spices added to it.
It'd be really good. We really want it to be extra. Really want to be extra. It'd probably make a lovely pairing with turmeric and maybe some saffron. That would give you a very rich orange flavor. Very rich orange flavor.
Have to use a lot of it, but yeah, it would.
Well, the turmeric would give it a lot of orange. And if you use saffron, it'll give you kind of a more floral note. Just thinking, because there's a lot of things that not necessarily use tomato in period, because tomatoes are not period until like.
True, but like I said, you can, if you want to be very period on what you want to do, then you wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
But you can be very period with something else. And like at that point, it would be like a beef stock or a chicken stock and use that as your base. And then add different things to it to create the soup that you want or the stew,
Mhm.
that type of thing. So hopefully, we're going to wrap this up here. Hopefully this has been a little bit insightful on different ways on how to start different meals. Like I said, this one was a soup. Next week will be a pasta. If this continues to go really well, maybe we'll try a rice dish. And if you guys have any ideas for a theme, give us some theme ideas and we'll try and gear it towards that. So we'll start with a base again, and then we'll start coming up with different aspects, come up with a price range again. And hopefully if this goes really well, we can start creating like a small little recipe book to show everyone, this is what you can do, and just follow the steps. So hope everyone had a good time. Thank you all for showing up, and I'll either see you again on Friday for dance or possibly next Wednesday again for our next meal. Enjoy.
Thank